So these days you can do just about everything on the computer, from chatting with friends to even buying groceries. That's why our next guest says it's so important to protect you and your computer's good health. In her book, Is This Thing On? A handbook for late bloomers, technophobes, and the kicking and screaming, Abby Stokes covers everything from figuring out how to turn the computer on, how to tweet, all the basics there. Abby joins us back on here on Connecticut Style. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Abby, first off, give me an overview of the book for people who might not be familiar.
The book is really soup to nuts. It begins assuming you might not even have a computer or know why you want one, and then it walks you through how to buy it. Once you buy it, how to actually set it up yourself, and then get online and visit me with my website. Then later on, there's about YouTube and tweeting and Facebook and digital photography. So it was interesting. I just received an email from a woman who was 85 years old in Australia.
No kidding.
No one around to help her deal with her computer. She bought the book, and she did exactly what I was hoping. She set up the computer herself, got me online by herself. I almost cried when I got her email.
Seriously, that's
so
great.
I know, it was so sweet.
Rewarding for you.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to talk about good health for not only the computer, us also.
Right.
So first, let's start with that. You say it's important to take a break from the computer every once in a while.
Yes, your good health is much more important than the computer's.
Sure.
I care much more about yours. The National Institute of Health says that an adult should take a 10-minute break every 40 minutes that they're on the computer. And for those people that use a computer at work, you realize hours go by and you've never gotten up from the computer.
Yeah, you're just staring there, right?
Yeah, with kids, they say 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, which is fat chance. But I suggest that people buy a kitchen timer and actually set it for 40 minutes. And think of that 10 minutes as a gift that you can get up and move around. But you'll never do the 40 minutes on, 10 minutes off by yourself. You need some sort of a guide to know.
You need the prompt.
Yeah.
You need the buzzer to go off. Prevent dry eye. That happens all the time.
Yes, and the issue is your computer is just the distance where your eyes don't actually need to move to see the screen. If I'm looking at you, my eyes naturally move. If I'm reading a book, my eyes naturally move, which means they water. A computer screen, you can take it all in without moving your eyes. So dry eye can make any eye issue you have worse. So the exercise to do is this. At your 10-minute break, take your hands, rub them together till they're warm.
Okay.
And then you'll put them over your eyes with your eyes closed. Open your eyes with your hands over them, roll your eyes around, and then look in the distance. So rub them together, over your eyes, open your eyes, look in the distance, and that will help prevent dry eye. Perfect thing to do in the 10 minutes.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, very important posture.
Posture.
Keep your shoulders back,
everything.
right?
Well, if you're a silver surfer, anybody over the age of 50, you know if you sit too long in one position, it's hard to get out of it. So I've actually been known to actually strap a client down with their belt to their chair. We really have to be aware that we tend to do what I call the turtle. We tend to sort of fall into the computer
Sure.
over time. So make sure you're sitting back and actually make sure your hand is relaxed over the mouse. A lot of people hold a lot of tension here. That can lead to carpal tunnel syndrome or arthritis. So we want to make sure that we relax while we're in good posture.
Silver surfer. That is a new term I haven't heard.
Silver surfer. So I think anybody over 50 is a silver surfer, or I call them a digital immigrant, which means they weren't born with a keyboard or a mouse in their hand. They're the ones that find the technology more challenging. They can learn any of it, but they're going to learn it at a slightly slower pace because they didn't grow up with it.
Sure, that makes sense. All right, what to do if your computer's sick?
Yes.
You don't want to panic.
No,
you say
don't
the
panic.
first thing is take a deep breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath and probably walk away. Most problems are like a car that won't start on a winter day. Your computer just had a hiccup, and so it might be that it needs about 5-10 minutes to sort of regroup itself.
Okay.
So best thing to do is step away. Don't throw it out the window yet.
Don't start banging things
Don't start
or anything
banging
like that.
things.
Okay. And also, you could do a soft boot.
Right. If what happens is you come back to the computer and it hasn't adjusted in any way, you don't want to just turn it off. That's actually detrimental to the computer. A soft boot as opposed to a hard boot, kicking it with a hard boot. A soft boot is you're asking the computer to shut down what programs are not responding before it shuts itself off. So if you're using a PC, you hold down Control, Alt, Delete simultaneously. The computer will show you what programs aren't responding. You can shut them down individually or it will shut them down.
Okay.
With an Apple computer, it's Command, Option, Escape. Hold those three down. That will shut the computer off. If it doesn't shut off at that point, then you can hold down the power key and start to count to 30. By 10, it'll shut down.
Shut down.
Then give it a chance to just rest. And 9 times out of 10, once it turns on, it'll be fine.
So just have some patience
Have
with that
some
as
patience,
well, right?
yeah.
And lastly, you say take control of your tech support. Give them a call.
Give them a call. Honestly, if the person that answers the phone sounds like they don't know what they're talking about, just hang up and call again and hope for somebody
Find
better.
someone else,
Yeah,
right?
or if you get somebody on the phone who doesn't seem helpful, the keywords to say are, could I speak to a Tier 2 technician?
Oh,
what that means
that's a
is,
great secret.
yes,
A Tier 2 technician.
Tier 2 technician, and you'll get a supervisor at that point. They really can't refuse that request. And if you say Tier 2, they think you really know what you're talking about, and they get somebody on the phone pretty quickly.
I love that. All right, let's put some information up on the screen. You can pick up a copy of Abby's book. It's called Is This Thing On? A Computer Handbook for the Late Bloomers, Technophobes, and the Kicking and Screaming. Abby, let's talk about your upcoming social networking event, because that could be a little intimidating for those who aren't familiar with it.
I think especially, again, if we're talking about silver surfers or digital immigrants, they didn't grow up with this. We'll be talking about social networking and talking about sort of how to safely take advantage of whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr or any of those things.
Wow. They're going to break it down,
Going to break it down, and the safest thing to do is don't put anything online that you wouldn't feel comfortable putting on the outside of the front door to your home.
Those are great words
That's
to
your
live
rule.
by. All right, Abby, that is going to be July 16th at the Trumbull Public Library at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here and for all the tips.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, we'll head over into the kitchen where Chef Adrian Kane is whipping up a delicious dessert when we come back.